All right, we're going to get started. Welcome everybody on the live stream. This is Hack Money Judging Demo Day, and I'm Kartik, one of the co-founders of ETHGlobal. So today is day 4 and group number 5 of our judging. We've kind of spent the last 4 weeks working on a lot of DeFi projects, and we're spending this entire week on showcasing all the amazing things that have come out of the hackathon. So for those of you who don't know, on the live stream, Hack Money is a hackathon that's organized by ETHGlobal. And for the past 4 weeks, we had over 350 hackers from 40 different countries and 15 different time zones work with us and their teammates to build really cool things in the realm of DeFi. We get people from all these amazing countries and an amazing set of over 40 mentors who helped out our hackers and the teams with anything from technical to product to marketing help. And not only that, we had an amazing set of companies in the DeFi space who helped and put their time and resources into getting the teams to build on top of their SDKs and actually really take the extension and the composability to the next level. So let me say that again. Over the past 4 weeks, we had over 350 developers work on building a lot of DeFi projects. And as of Sunday night, I'm proud to announce that we had 118 DeFi projects that were submitted for this hackathon. And that's absolutely incredible. I mean, I can comfortably say that in just these 4 weeks alone, we've doubled the number of DeFi projects in this space. And we're using this entire week to showcase what all these projects are doing and how they work with other things in this ecosystem. And we're excited to kind of kick off today with a lot of these demos. So I want to quickly go over the logistics of how the next 2 hours are going to work. We have 14 teams that are going to be presenting today, and each team will have 4 minutes for a demo, and then 3 minutes after their demo to address any questions or comments that the judges have. So in grand total, each team will be on for 7 minutes, and to make sure that we have all minimized our AV-related issues over this call, we pre-record a lot of these demos, so the teams will be playing what they've recorded for these demos and then answering the questions after they've finished off the video. So a quick overview of how this event was set up. The rules and criteria for Hack Money was simple. A team could have a maximum of 5 members, but you could also work individually if you choose to do so. And we saw a lot of projects that were done by individual hackers. And the only thing they had to incorporate was their hack must have a DeFi primitive as part of their submission and their core use case. And of course, because this was a hackathon, all code that was submitted for this must have been written over the course of the 4 weeks that the hackathon ran. So as a result, everything you can see today was the outcome of 4 weeks of work. And as we kind of go through these demos, our judges will be rating and scoring these projects on these 5 different categories. And these categories will be how technical and original a project is and how practical it is to introduce this to a set of users. And on top of that, how the interface of that set project looks like for the end audience, whether that's a UI or a UX abstraction or something that abstracts this for developers if it's a dev tool. And of course, we have a general catch-all category called the wow factor that lets us offset anything that we've missed or not been able to address in any of those 4 previous categories. And just to remind everybody that this is not a competition. The hackers are here to learn and showcase what they've done and share their excitement with everybody else, including our judges. And the judges are here to primarily give feedback to these projects and actually make sure that they can give them anywhere from advice to support on what they can do to take this to the next level. Not everybody is trying to become a business, nor do we want them to do this in any form. We want this to be a way for everybody to experiment with what's possible, and we treat these events as playgrounds for what could be done with a lot of the technologies in this space. And the goal is to make this a better place for the ecosystem. So with that, our schedule for today is that we have these 14 teams that'll be going on one by one and presenting what they've done to our judges. And doing all the hard work are our 3 judges who will be looking at each of these projects and addressing any comments and giving them our feedback. And I'd like to welcome now Linda Shea from Scalar Capital, Anthony Susana from Set Protocol, and Aparna Krishnan from Open to join us as our judges. And with that, we will kick off our first demo for today, and that is Team Omisario. So please welcome Omisario to share their demo.
Howdy. I'm sharing the screen right now. Okay, kicking it off. Hi, I'm Julian Traverso.
Hi, I'm William Shea.
And we're here today to show you what we've made for Hack Money 2020, Omisario.
For this hackathon, we wanted to build a project that we could integrate with the MissingNo network because it had just been privately released to the mainnet. We thought it'd be fun to integrate it with a basic game, one that everyone loves, like Super Mario. With our integration, you'll be able to earn Ethereum and Bitcoin as you collect coins and finish levels.
In order to process all in-game transactions, we are using the Omisario child chain. When the web page loads, it waits for the Portis login, upon which time a seed wallet sends both Ethereum and PBTC to a temporary wallet which controls all of the funds which will be sent to the user. As the user collects coin in games, Ethereum is stored and then continuously cashed out on every child chain block. Similarly, upon completing a level, the user is rewarded with PBTC. In creating Omisario, we had hoped to demonstrate that Ethereum had potential as a layer 2 scaling solution for Bitcoin. At the same time, we had hoped to provide users a really fun and engaging experience. As I mentioned, it waits for you to log in on Portis, and then funds are sent to a seed wallet, as seen in the transaction hash below. As seen a few seconds ago, the Omisario network transaction hash is updated. This indicates that the coins collected have been sent out in the form of Ethereum. You can verify this by clicking on the transaction hash to navigate to the block explorer. Now that the user has finished a level, PBTC has also been sent, as can be seen by the new transaction hash below. We can easily verify this by clicking again on the transaction hash to navigate to the block explorer. As highlighted, the user's balances are also reflected on screen for convenience. And that's about it.
That was really cool. Is the game playable right now?
Yeah, it's live, but there is a visual bug with the live version, so we do recommend people download it with the new version.
Very cool. I'm excited to try it. Just so I understand, so in this game, you're storing ETH, but then players are rewarded and they actually cash out PBTC?
Well, actually, you're being sent both. It's just that we had thought there were certain limitations with the network in terms of how many transactions a wallet could send out per block. It turns out, I mean, we spoke to a team member yesterday, and you can get around them by storing all the transactions locally to build then further transactions. But to get around that, we had every time you start up a game session, it spawns an individual ETH wallet, which we fund everything with. That way, a bunch of users can be on at once instead of just, one being locked to our main wallet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is really, really cool. How many levels do you guys currently have?
Well, honestly, it was a pretty extensive clone. It's really cool. It's pretty much Mario Maker, but in Mario NES. So there's like mods. You can make your own maps, and it's got the full Super Mario NES. So I don't know. Yeah, I spent a lot more time probably playing it than I should have when I was testing. Yeah.
That's so cool. How much ETH is someone earning per level, or like how much?
Right now, not much. Like realistically, this was meant more to be just we wanted to test out the network and see how integration was. It was coming up on the mainnet, and I don't know. I thought it was as well interesting to demonstrate, like I'd said in the video, PBTC being used on it. There are costs in terms of onboarding it. Wrapping the Bitcoin and then depositing it to the child chain. But I could see definitely some use cases in terms of just keeping money on the child chain if you're wanting to transact with a wrapped coin on Ethereum.
Okay, that makes sense. So the Mario, I guess like there's some part of it that's not hosted on the blockchain, right? Like where's
well, realistically, the user is sent essentially a 0.03 ETH at the start, and if they wanted to, they can go in the code and take the private key for that wallet. So that's the local one we have spawned every time it's loaded. And that's really not the blockchain part then, because that's, we're funding the wallet directly with that wallet, but that could definitely be manipulated. It's not, definitely completely decentralized.
Gotcha. Have you guys also thought about like creating incentives for other people to fund the wallets?
I've thought in general about what the end goal, really this was mostly a fun project. There hadn't been any community projects that I know of in a Musigo community at the time. So, beyond that, it is, I think, really advertisement money. That way you could actually send out real Ethereum and do real benefits for playing the game rather than just testnet money. Yeah, and really that is the direction you could go, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's the first time I've really seen a project on Omisago, because I know that you mentioned that they recently released to mainnet. How is it working with their dev tooling?
It was a bit of a pain at first, but that was because we were trying to do stuff completely client side, and nobody apparently at Omisago was making anything with browser tools. So their browser package just didn't work for a week, and we didn't really know what was going on. So past that, actually, in the middle of the hackathon, they fixed it for us, which was really great. And they completely updated all of their documentation, which would have been useful at the start. But yeah, I think it's a lot easier now than it was. And I also, in the process yesterday, I talked to one of the devs and requested a sort of daisy chaining function that would allow you to take one transaction and then have it stored locally for you to build another one off of it, which I think would alleviate the issues we were talking about in terms of only being able to do one per block. Currently, you have to call the previous transactions with a function, and if it's not confirmed, you can't call that. So if you can do it locally, it's a lot easier. You could actually utilize the network realistically. In terms of it being used for gaming, there's no real reason to use it over stuff like XDAI or Matic. Just because realistically you're not needing to secure many funds. The idea is you're trying to use the consensus layer of Ethereum with the Musigo, and if that's not a priority, it's probably not a great idea to use the network.
Awesome. Well, great work, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and that was an amazing kickoff for the day. And with that, we'll move on to our next demo, and that is Team Missing Number. They are having some AV issues, so I'm going to play their video instead. So just stand by for this demo to kick off.
Hello, I'm Leo. This is my hack. The future is becoming more fragmented. Portals will be built to contain these futures. Futures in which we want things. Along the way, many captures, releases, and exits. Here is an architected coin market cap-like interface to capture this abstraction and hedge one's stake in a trustless future. It is titled MissingNo, short for missing number, a well-known glitch in Pokemon games. The meme was used due to the represent appearances of anomalous futures typed via keyboard interfaces. Problem areas. Online crypto commerce websites have exit scam risk, for example Darknet. Central exchanges have downtime during peak volatility times, for example Coinbase. Crypto-based product launches, sites are down during dollar drop releases, for example Aurora. Build an alternative futures market where the underlying index feed is on website status codes. Helps with P2P and Tor site discoverability. The Futures Factory contract makes futures signed by makers and built by takers. These contracts have an expiry, with an underlying index is connected to an Oracle client. Current implementation is connected to a cron chain link adapter that polls various portals for their status codes either. 1. A gateway into that, where resilient static files can live. 2. Into Tor, where centralized processing, like payment processing, can take place. The futures are first built as prepackaged signed messages, which are posted to a P2P swarm. Because the signatures of the futures, it is in one's best interest to host a proxy to get faster access to contracts, making the swarm stronger. Other advantages: isolated commerce sites can be accessed resiliently, and can benefit collectively on portal aggregation. Site owners can custom curate and design things from warehouse in the cloud, as if they were using Oberlo connecting Alibaba and Shopify. P2P sites help unlock value for artists, where on-chain incentives can reduce transacting risks. The futures are first built as prepackaged signed messages, which are posted to. It even has dark mode. Looking for feedback. Questions?
So the basic hack here was to try to implement something that connects various different applications and tool sets into something that is, I think, cohesive. And in this scenario, it's to represent it itself as a futures market where you're looking at status codes for whether it's portals into different commerce sites or video game servers or possibly centralized exchanges. And it's still a impartial implementation, but the basic worked on code was for the cron job that accesses these status codes into the various different tool sets. Love some questions. Thank you.
So what kind of futures are possible with this?
So right now it's just a simple, hey, here's the value that here's the contract and here's an expiry. Will someone take it? And if so, they do. And once that expiry time is processed, then so the value gets transferred to whoever wins the contract.
Okay.
What I'm more excited about is creating straddled options where you can do it on uptime of a website while also doing it on some type of volume of something that this website is transacting, whether it's product drops or peer seeds, etc.
Okay, so it's like basically futures on like anything.
Exactly, yeah. I was looking to be as most abstract as possible in the implementation so that anything could be built on top of it. And right now it's just a pure linear status code that gets parsed through the chain link adapter.
Gotcha. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that it's like pretty generalized so that a lot of people can create interesting things on this. I maybe I missed this, but like what exactly are you using Chainlink for in the system?
So using Chainlink for the Oracle, and the Oracle looks at the percentage of uptime for, let's say, a website, at least at this point. But Chainlink, because it has the various different adapters, you can add in any type of index that can be added to this feature. So basically a feature has a value of the contract, and then it has some underlying index that it's looking at. And if that inequality has been tripped, then it gets to the person that won the contract.
Gotcha. Cool.
Cool. No questions for me. Just I like that you're using Swarm. I don't see too many projects using that these days, so it's great that you chose to use that.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Leo. And with that, we will move over to our next demo, and that is team TokenSets Decomposer. And they have a video that they'll be playing, but they'll also be talking over that and doing that live. So please welcome Andy, and you can begin your screen share.
Hello there.
Here we go.
Hi. Let me start sharing my video. Okay. So basically, the main purpose of our hackathon or hack was to learn how to interact with smart contracts. This was the first time we did something like this. And for this, by chatting with the Aave team, we learned that they wanted to take TokenSets, or came up with my idea, and they also show interest in this. And one main thing that we needed to do is figure out the price of a token set in ETH. And that's when we went ahead and started creating our smart contract. So I'm gonna start playing this video. We just created a simple UI for simplicity, and we are pulling the address here from the API, the public API from TokenSets. So we take the address of that token. I see the price is 242, and the components is USDC and 0 ETH. So by pasting that in our tool, we can get how many USDC tokens are inside this token set, what's the price of each USDC in it, and the price of that one token in it. So then just to check some other token, well, in the video I'm doing that. Now I'm gonna start pulling the price of a different token. This time it's gonna be the BTC ETH 7525. And I'm just looking for it. There it is. So this one is composed in ETH and BTC, WBTC. So again, we paste that address. It gets us the composition for that token, which is 0.013 WBTC and then 0.2 WETH. And we get the price of one token in it, which is 0.78. And so this is all getting pulled from on-chain data. The only thing that we rely on is on the prices for the tokens. So we are using the Aave. I will stop sharing my screen now. We're using the Aave price oracle because we are thinking that they will integrate this on their site. And so now this is basically a price oracle for each token set. What we can do with this now, or it doesn't have to be Aave, it can be any lending platform. They can take this data and start taking these sets as collateral for their platforms. And I think this is really good for token sets because now I can increase my leverage on token sets, and they act as a stop order in a way, because they will rebalance into a safer asset. So that was the main idea, that since TokenSets has this built in, then taking a loan on this asset will be a safer way of getting loans. Yeah, any question?
Yeah, that's really interesting. What happens during a rebalance or like after a rebalance? And is it still safe as a collateral, like I guess after a rebalance happened?
Yeah, so there are different risk levels, and this is the same risk that each token set has, which is, let's say a token, and I don't remember which ones, Anthony can probably chime in there, but there are some of them that will rebalance when the price of it falls, let's say, beyond below 200. In something like Black Tuesday that happened, that the price of it went down really fast, that's the risk that even if we try to rebalance these tokens, they might fall lower. And that's the same risk as holding it, for example. During the rebalance, I think the tokens are still, like, you can still pull the data of how it is composed, and it will give you a price, but it's not stable. And what I know is that a token rebalances within 15 minutes at most. That's what one of the engineers from TokenSets told me. So I think there are some risks involved, but I think for the most part, it will handle some of that risk, take some of the risk of holding it away. Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great to see you building on TokenSets. I think this is really cool. Yeah, I guess you were talking about the risk. It's also that during a rebalance, you can't sell a set, so you wouldn't be able to liquidate your set. So you'd be exposed to that risk. But yeah, I thought it was really cool using it as a price oracle for different tokens, so that things like Aave can integrate it. It was awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I didn't have any questions, but I thought it was really cool and useful. Like I like the transparency that it shows to people, so I could actually see this being used by people. So nice work.
Yeah, and it was also so for my teammate and myself, it was at least for me, it was the first time working with smart contracts. So it took me a while to understand the chain and how everything works, and that was the main what I take away from this hackathon, learning.
That's amazing.
Nice work. That's impressive. Like first time.
Yeah, going from learning smart contracts is like, it's quite challenging. So like, great job.
Thanks.
Yeah, great job.
Well, thank you very much.
And congrats on shipping, and I'm glad to hear that, and hopefully you get to continue working on this.
Yeah.
So thanks again, Miguel. And with that, we are going to move on to our next team. And we have a unique setup for this one. This is our first as ETHGlobal. What we'll be doing is after the video ends, we will be adding on another member from our community, Juliana, who will be translating between our judges' questions and our team to make sure that there are no problems getting your questions answered as the team that will be presenting right now will primarily be speaking in Portuguese. So I just want to make sure that the team is ready. I think I will be playing the video from my end. So what I'll do is I'll just kick off that video from my side, and then we'll move into the Q&A part with, it looks like they're going to do this thing themselves. So with that, you can get started, and please welcome Team IdentityMoney. Oh, looks like we don't have audio, so I think you need to enable that Zoom setting. But what I'll do is if you can end this thing, I'll share if we can get this communicated to the team, it'll be great. And I'll just make sure that we have all technical difficulties set aside, and then we'll go into the Q&A.
Dani, o pessoal da organização vai tocar o áudio de vocês lá, tá? Não se preocupa.
Hi guys, you are the Capivara coders and you will presentation your application. My name is Danilo De Falco, full stack. My team, Rodrigo Oliveira, full stack, Daniela Anjos, architecture business, and Yasmin Vieira, front end. What you built? IdentityMoney, a decentralized digital document validation solution that offers and trustworthy identity data and give users complete control of their data. How it works? The persona creates your registro and it chooses which validator you verify the veracity of your data. The validator, after choosing the best business strategy for its service provision, returns the informations, validating status to persona. The consumer defines what information and what it to access and sends request of permission to the persona. How it works? Identity smart contract manages data persona, data validators, integrations and ports was a wallet, identity persona and the identity validator front end, two web application to interact with the IdentityMoney ecosystem. Stay now with the presentation of the application. Separate in two modules, identity persona, identity validator. First, the login and screen. According to screen for adding fields for validation and choose the validator. Input fields for validate. Third team screen. Thought I receive notification from consumers and approve or not to access. Then I can see my transactions on Etherscan. And finally, I can backup my private key and mnemonic. Validator module. Log in first. Then register as a validator. As soon as I am chosen to validate my validation pen, it in Zapper. I can access my panel and the requests withdrawals from the validator with values made. And finish. Thanks everyone. Bye. See you.
So can we ask questions now? Or?
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely. I'm here to translate. So whatever you just ask, I'm going to just quickly translate to Portuguese, and then I'm going to be doing the back and forth.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for doing that. So I really like the problem that is being solved here. I think this is a really important problem in the space that needs to be addressed. My question is, who are the data validators here? Can anyone sign up to be a validator?
Pessoal, ela disse em primeiro lugar que ela acha o problema que vocês escolheram muito importante no ecossistema e ela gostaria de saber quem são os validadores, como é que eles são escolhidos.
Qualquer um pode ser um validador, porque dentro do ecossistema, na verdade, vão ter os scores que você vai confiar naquele validador ou não. Pode ser tanto uma empresa quanto uma pessoa. Basta se cadastrar como validador.
She says that anybody can be a validator, but validators are going to have scores. So any person can just simply set up and become a validator and start doing their job. But the scores will let people know the kind of validators you have over time.
Makes sense. Thank you.
The idea of having validators with scores is actually brilliant. I was just going to ask that as a question. So I have a separate question, which is, do you need multiple validators to validate your identity? Like, or how does that work?
Ela também achou bastante interessante a ideia de validadores, né? E que cada pessoa pode ser um. E ela pergunta a respeito de validadores múltiplos. Excuse me, Aparna, can you just repeat regarding multiple validators? I forgot.
Yeah, do you need multiple validators to verify your identity?
Ok. Vocês precisam de vários validadores para verificar a identidade? Ou somente um consegue verificar?
É possível, né, vários validadores identificarem uma única informação, um único dado, a identidade. Isso é possível e vai depender de quem vai consumir esse dado, qual a confiança que ele tem e quantos validadores ele precisaria para confiar naquela informação.
All right, so she says that it's possible that you can have many validators to check one piece of data, but in the end, it will depend on who consumes the data. So if the amount of validators required is going to be, let's say, X numbers, then it really depends more on the data being validated, and the necessity comes from the data. Dani, expliquei corretamente?
Depende do grau de confiança de quem vai consumir.
It depends on the degree of confidence of those that will consume the data.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Juliana.
Hey, great. I really like the interface of the project. Just one question: how are the reputation scores assigned, and are there any Sybil resistant mechanisms in there to make sure that people don't just, assign good reputation scores to people for no reason?
Ele também gostou bastante e ele tem muito interesse em saber a questão da reputação dos validadores, como é que é feita a reputação e principalmente como os validadores se protegem de um ataque Sybil attack, ou seja, uma collusion de vários validadores, por exemplo, pode causar um Sybil attack. Então, como é que vocês previnem isso?
Eu não entendi a parte do ataque.
She did not understand the Sybil part of the attack. So what exactly is the question regarding the Sybil attack? I might have translated not so nicely.
Well, since there's like a reputation system for providers, how does the system prevent that from collusion, as you said, from people colluding to assign better reputation scores to people who don't, aren't good or are bad actors?
Gotcha. Dani, quando ele pergunta sobre Sybil attack, ele quer dizer, imagina várias pessoas do mal, ou seja, coludindo para falar, vamos validar. Entendeu? Então, como é que o sistema de reputação, se uma pessoa do mal dá mais poder para outra, como é que o sistema que vocês bolaram previne que pessoas ataquem o sistema?
Você diz vários validadores, de repente, validarem uma informação correta, sendo que ela está errada?
Exato. Imagina validadores querendo atacar o sistema, não necessariamente fazer a coisa certa. Às vezes a informação está certa, mas o validador está errado. Então, como é que você previne que várias pessoas comecem a...
O validador estando errado, quem vai depender? O validador precisa de confiança do consumidor de dado, que sem um consumidor do dado, ele não existiria, entendeu? Então, se ele validar errado, cada validação que ele faz que dentro do sistema está errado, diminui o score dele.
Okay, as she explains, the validator really relies on the data consumer to get the credentials and the reputation. So this data consumer in the end is going to be the one acting scores. So if they validate something wrong, their reputation is going to go lower because the data consumers are going to identify that. So reputation grows as the data consumer gives points for a proper validation. Expliquei correto, Dani?
Explicou. Obrigado. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rodrigo, Yasmin, and Daniela. Thanks again for hacking with us for the whole past 4 weeks. And I think this is one of those moments where just the amazing members in our community really kind of make this possible for us to interact and include everybody from anywhere in the world. So Juliana, thanks so much for doing this. And we hope to actually continue this trend for a lot more other places around the world. So thanks. And with that, we will move over to our next demo. And that is Team Money 256. So I'd like to invite them to start sharing their demo. I think you might be either muted or the audio is not coming.
Okay.
There we go.
Hey guys, this is Money 256, and this is our Hack Money 2020 demo. So the team consists of me, Kendrick, and my buddy Adrian. So I was responsible for the solidity and more like the financial concepts, whereas my buddy Adrian was responsible for the JavaScript stuff, like the build systems and anything JavaScript related. So what we built this weekend is a priceless, and I have to stress priceless, contract for difference on Ethereum. This means in the event of any disputes, this will be all handled on UMA's DVM. So how it works is that users can, so the CFD actually tracks an underlying asset. So for example, gold, wheat, or token, anything that is a price. If a user wants to long or the user can mint a set amount of long and short tokens for a set amount of stable coins, for example, DAI, USDC, or Ether. If they would like to long the underlying, they can sell the short tokens and simply hold the long tokens. If they would like to short the underlying, they can simply hold the short tokens and sell the long tokens. So this priceless CFD contract, priceless CFD component has 3 key components: a UI, a dispute bot, and the contracts. We essentially designed a new CFD primitive that can operate optimistically in the absence of an oracle. This is constructed so that it would work seamlessly with UMA's DVM. A dispute bot will regularly check the events to regulate the validity of the CFD contract. For example, if the CFD contract has expired or if the CFD contract has exceeded some price bounds. The UI is basically so that users can interact with the CFD contract easily. So here's a little demo we have. So as you notice, this is a very simple demo because we focus a lot of our engineering time on the contracts and the logic behind it. So I can easily mint some long and short tokens if I would like to mint them. Everything's running on a little Ganache node right now just to prove that everything works. And as you can see, we now own 2.5 long and 2.5 short tokens. We can also, there's also a dispute bot that regularly checks for listen to events. And if there is an invalid event, it will dispute it to make sure that the contract is in a valid state. Finally, before we also allow users to redeem long or short tokens before and after the CFD contract has expired for the collateralized assets, for example, DAI. We can convert our long and short tokens back to DAI or USDC or Tether. In the future, we would like to, right now, the users get the long and short tokens, but in the future, we would like to kind of automatically automatically push them out to an automatic market maker like a Balancer or Uniswap V2. And we would like to build out a more robust regulation dispute bot to listen to more events and ensure that the CFD contract is in a valid state. Yeah, thanks. That's it. Any questions?
This is awesome work, guys. I had a question on like, so currently it's a CFD on what asset?
So right now it's basically tracking the price of DAI. I know that backing DAI with DAI is a bit unintuitive, so we allow for other assets like USDC or Tether. So if DAI loses its peg, or for example, goes above $1, you can basically sell your short or long tokens to kind of capitalize on the delta.
Gotcha. So right now, like, who sets like what those assets are?
Well, right now it's not manually, but you could definitely build a token builder, sort of like what UMA does. Like this is all, we've drawn a lot of inspiration from UMA, except that instead of having a expiring multi-party creator, we have a priceless CFD contract.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is really cool. I really like what you guys have built. What do you envision being like some of the more popular first use cases for this?
Well, anything. Personally, I would like to I'm not from America, I'm from Australia, so I would like an easier access to the American market. So for me, it would be American options, American futures, personally speaking. But I think there'll be a big market for maybe China or India, or markets that are a bit more, they're only accessible to the big players.
Cool.
Because this kind of enables like fractionalized ownership as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool project, guys. You mentioned that you imagine these going into balancer pools. Did you think about how these could work with sets as well on TokenSets?
Because these tokens have an expiry date, so the ideal situation is that we kind of put them into a balancer pool, and then we can slowly so you start it. So we would ideally start with two CFD tokens, like one that expires in May and one that expires in June. And so if we're in May, we would have like if we were in April, we would have 100% May and 0% June expiring tokens. As the time slowly progresses, we would like to kind of swap out the tokens in the balancer pool to kind of create this non-expiring CFD token, if that makes sense. Yeah, but we haven't thought much about putting them in TokenSets simply because Balancer kind of enables that gradual change around.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adrian and Kendrick. Congrats on this amazing hack, and hope you continue working on this. So with that, we would like to welcome our next demo, and that is Team CelebrityFutures, and I'll be the one playing this video, and they will be able to answer any questions after.
Hey guys, my name is Cooper Turley, and I'm presenting on behalf of CelebrityFutures with my colleague Brian Campbell.
Hi everyone.
We have another teammate, Vignesh, who was unable to join because of time differences, so let's jump right into it. We wanted to create a marketplace for users to invest in the future potential of high-influence individuals, starting with musicians. We want to do this in a global and permissionless fashion so that anyone can participate at their convenience. So, what if you could place a bet on Drake before he became the star he is today? What if you could bet against Drake, or even back your favorite TikToker before they went viral? With our app, you can invest in a rising act before they get signed to a major label. The problem today is that as a curator, there's no really good way for me to capitalize on the upside of a career or an artist that I've noticed early on. So with CelebrityFutures, we created a way to bet for or against an artist's popularity score and their future growth potential. We made it so you can capture their future upside by guessing correctly on whether or not they're going to be more or less popular today than they will be next month. We took Spotify's popularity score, a score between 0 to 100, and routed that on-chain using Chainlink, and we used this to make a synthetic asset using UMA. We started with Travis Scott and created a synthetic asset called Travis. We used UMA because of token sponsors, which allow people to short the asset, price the synthetic assets which mitigate Oracle trust, permissionless creation, and secondary markets such as Uniswap for secondary trading. We were able to get a local application running, and we created that synthetic asset Travis to be able to show how this works. We made a front end to do so that limit the amount of crypto knowledge required to use our application. I'm going to pass it over to Brian so he can show you guys how it works.
All right, guys, let's take a look at the app here. So we have, the app consists of 2 pages. We have a home page where we can scroll through different artists, search for artists, and we've got 3 calls to action at the bottom. And then we have a portfolio page where we can manage our assets. So if this is the first time coming to the page, you're going to either have to create shares or buy new shares. So if we're creating them, what we're doing is we have to provide a certain number of shares and agree to a certain amount of DAI. And this is going to send the DAI to an expiring multi-party contract made by UMA. And we have to include both the value of the shares plus the value of the collateral in case we bet wrong on this particular artist. So here I'm creating the shares themselves. And then we're given an option to allow our shares to be pulled into an exchange tool. And that would allow us to pair buyers and sellers. So that's what's happening in this confirmation. Great. And so from here, you have the other option of just buying straight away. So if you buy, you're going to buy the shares which were just created. Buying the shares, you just have to specify a certain number. And this goes to that swap tool. And it allows the swap tool to access my DAI, and then it will do a second transaction to actually make the swap. Great. So once this finishes up, we'll take a look at the portfolio. And this is where we can manage our assets again. We see up at the top our portfolio value over time and our history, different things that we've bought in the past. Our value in shares that we've created or bought comes here. And we see a lot of the same functionality from the first page can be got to from the portfolio page pretty easily. We can also manage our collateral and deposit extra collateral if we need to, or withdraw if our bet is going very well. And if we do decide to withdraw, we need to wait for the liveness period. We have to be approved for this withdrawal from the UMA contract, and that's why we have to request and then withdraw. So that's great, guys. That's it. That's the web app. So I'm very happy to share.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Brian. So as you guys could tell, there's a lot going on here. We had a couple issues, mainly with just getting the Oracle to actually sync with the application. UMA itself was a pretty complicated product, so there was some stuff that we had to abstract away. But at the end of the day, the component of us being able to do this on-chain was something really fascinating, and we're excited to build with it more. So thank you, ETHmoney, for having us, and I hope you guys enjoyed our product.
This is really cool. Oh, go for it.
This is really exciting. I had a question. Maybe I didn't understand this correctly, but when you buy the shares, you're going long the person, and like when you sell it, you're going short?
So,
or how to say?
Yeah, so when you buy the shares, you're going long. When you're creating shares, you're going short. Selling is just really a way to cash in.
So redeeming against the expiring multi-party contract.
Okay. So creating is like going short, and buying is going long.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I love this. I think that like it's inevitable that something like this becomes really popular, and I could totally imagine people having like their own little portfolio of musicians that they're interested early on. I guess and I've actually been thinking about this a lot. Like how now that people can go like short like celebrity tokens, I guess like what happens with the whole like someone's short and now they're incentivized to like see the celebrity fail or something. Like does it like how do you envision that playing out though?
So do you mean if a celebrity is able to tank their own celebrity status, essentially?
That, or just other people who are now incentivized to see
wow.
fail. So like, how do you envision that playing out?
I mean, I think it's possible. It would only really be an issue if you had a high enough market cap for this particular coin. And whereas the money is going to be spread out amongst not just Travis Scott, right? It would be a number of celebrities. It would only be high profile celebrities who could have an issue with this. Like you could imagine a Trump coin or something like this that would have a lot of volume. There could be an issue with him purposefully dropping himself in popularity to short all the coins. But aside from kind of extreme cases, I'd be happy to take that into account when and if this grows.
Yeah, and I think to add on to that real quick, we really envision this for up and coming artists. So obviously Travis was great because you need sellers to make these markets efficient. But on the other side of things, we are envisioning this being markets for, you know, rising artists with, say, 100,000 monthly listeners. And in that scenario, we don't think that there would be too many malicious actors, hopefully.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. This is so cool. I'm really excited. I hope you guys continue working on this.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. I love adding gas fees to cancel culture. This is interesting. So with that, we'll welcome our next team onto the demo, and please welcome Cryptonian.
Hello, this is Cryptonian. We built a blockchain-based diamond trade system. Actually, the requirements for this project is from the real people in diamond industry. So I'm happy to present our project. To understand why we built this trade system, you should understand the traditional system in diamond industry. There's a broker as an intermediary between wholesalers and retailers, but the broker have caused so many problems, like fraud, especially fraud. Last year there was 30 million diamond fraud because of a broker running off with diamonds. So, and then high commission fees and slow transaction, and also the many problems. So we want to replace broker with a blockchain system, and then the transparency that blockchain brings into the system can solve many the problems in traditional system, but another problems coming up. Usually in traditional system, retailers don't need any money to rent diamonds from wholesalers because the brokers have established trust or confidence between them. So wholesalers borrows the diamonds to retailers because they trust brokers. So but we replace the broker with blockchain. The retailers kind of need money to. The retailers should have money to borrow diamonds from wholesalers, and then that's kind of the liquidity problem that retailers have. So we kind of we built a crowdfunding system and IOU scheme system to cover the problems that blockchain brings into the diamond trade. And so the investors deposit their money into the crowdfunding system, and retailers borrow the money from crowdfunding system every time the diamond trade happens. So and then the crowdfunding system needs some kind of stability, because if there was not enough money in crowdfunding system, some diamond trade should, it's gonna not happen. So we are gonna have a kind of the tax system for in every trade to kind of to make the fund reserve in the system. That's the thing that we built for the hack money. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the presentation. I didn't realize that was actually how it worked with retailers and borrowing that. Does this also extend to beyond the diamond business, or like, I guess, like, are you specifically just focusing on diamonds?
That diamond is one of the jewelry that this kind of trade system can adopt, but other than diamond, we can extend it to other jewelries.
And like anybody you're envisioning can put money into the crowdfund system.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Cool. And because usually broker take the 5% of diamond trade as a commission fee, so we can make a kind of the interest rates for investors in crowdfunding system.
And then, like, how do the investors know that the retailer is legit and someone that they can lend to?
There's the market. There's a public market for investors or retailers to look at what kind of diamonds is needed or something like that.
This is really cool. Yeah, I can imagine this being extended to other kind of use cases to crowdfund for other things that have similar problems to the diamond trade. Have you thought of any other industries that you'd like to apply this to?
Not yet, but I think that we make a kind of NFT for diamonds. So if there is any industry with NFT things, I think we can extend our trade system to them.
Yep, cool, awesome.
This is really interesting. For the diamonds, like physically, do you need some kind of unique identifier for them, or how does that work?
Yep. Sorry, I didn't catch you. Yeah.
Like, do you need some kind of way to uniquely identify the diamonds, or like, how does that work?
In diamond, you can you can there's some strings integrated in diamond, so you can identify the uniqueness of diamond. Does it make sense?
I think we may have some AV issue here. Aparna, were you able to hear that answer?
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
I think that makes sense. I didn't know that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Great. Great. So with this is our halfway point of our demos, and we're going to be taking a 5-minute break. So with that, we'll let our judges take a quick break and let them stretch, and we'll come back in 4 minutes. Okay, we are back on track from our break. And with this, welcome our next team, Want a Nintendo Switch. I'll let them go on and present their demo.
Great.
Have our judges turn on the cameras again.
Ready?
We're ready.
Hi, I'm William, and I worked on this presentation.
Hi, I'm Anne. I worked on the front end and project management.
Hi, I'm Neil. I work on the smart contract. Hi, I'm Ken. I'm working on the smart contract too. And you are team?
Want a Nintendo Switch.
Okay, let's get started. In case you didn't catch that, our team name is Want, and we want a Nintendo Switch. We wanted to do an Animal Crossing Ethereum blockchain gateway application, and none of us have Nintendo Switches, so we did a token pool exchange instead. Our goal was
Quickly, would you mind just increasing the volume?
And find a way to make some money. So the token pool exchange works somewhat like a stable coin in that you submit different types of ERC20 tokens and you get back a token in exchange. The way it works is that if you deposit something that is common, you get less want tokens. And if you deposit something that is rare, if there's fewer of that token in the pool, you get back more want tokens. Now the innovation comes in the redeem function, and when you redeem a want token, you get back a random token from the pool. How is it built? Well, we have a want smart contract, and it is implementing the top-level deposit and claim functions, and it's built on top of an ERC20 contract, which is from the Open Zeppelin library. And then we implement the core functionality in Want Pool, which accesses a Uniswap pool to reduce the fees of doing exchanges. We built this using multi-bass. We all work at Curve Grid, and we use the free tier of our multi-bass product to speed our development, and then built a front end using Vue.js. So let me show you what that looks like. You can see the balance I have in my account of want tokens and the number of total tokens in the pool and how much I need to deposit in order to redeem it. So if I want to deposit ZRX token, I will get 0.020 want tokens in exchange. So let's deposit something that there are a little less of, and I'll get 4.5 tokens in exchange. So let me deposit that. Confirm the transaction. Great. And now I have some more want tokens. So let me quickly show you how that interacts with multi-bass. We have the want contract loaded here. And if I wanted to do something like deposit tokens, I can see the REST API call that we would make here. And so go ahead and redeem some tokens. So I'll redeem one. Who knows what I'll get? Confirm. Excellent. I got a die in return. It's not really a useful thing yet. It's more of a fun project. So maybe we can see if there's some utility in it, see if we can support some more tokens, and have some fun. Thank you for watching.
This is really interesting. I have a question. How do you decide, like, I guess, like, if I put down one die, how do I know? Does each person have their own want contract, or how does that work?
There's one want contract. Oh, do you want to go ahead, Win?
Yeah, sure. So the idea is we have a central want contract, and then it acts like a public pool of other tokens, which people can just put other tokens in and then get one tokens out based on the rarity of the token in the public pool.
Okay, cool.
This is cool. I think it's really fun, and I could totally see people using this, just like kind of gamifying it a little bit. So I might have missed, but how do you determine which token is actually given out to the user? Like, is it random, or like I don't really understand that part.
Yeah, it's random, or sort of pseudo-random. It's based on the block number and timestamp. And so, yeah, theoretically a miner could game it, but it's good enough for now.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I think, you know, maybe in some implementation, because you can see which tokens are currently in the pool, and as like you put in a want token, it will randomize what you get. Do you have more of a chance of getting a token if it has more of a share of the pool than the other ones?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the point of being like random inside the pool. It's like if you have more of something in the pool, then there's a higher chance that you would have it. But if something is there's a lot of something in the pool, then of course it would not have a large value, right? So it's kind of,
yeah. We don't balance for like to get you an even random across the different types of tokens. It is based on it's the total supply.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the want tokens could go up in value themselves based on what's in the pool. Like if there's only stable coins in the pool, then they might be worth less than if there was a 0x token or something that's worth more than $1, for example, in the pool.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I was just thinking of ideas in my head. But yeah, good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, William and team, and awesome bow tie.
Thanks.
Great. So with that, we are going to call up our next team, and that is ETHcavenger. And for this one, we will be playing and a cat. Oh, not just a bow tie. We got a cat too. And for this one, we'll be playing the video on our end. And there we go. That's awesome. So we'll be streaming off the ETHcavenger video from our side, and I'll welcome the rest of the team to the Zoom call. Trent, take it away.
Hey guys, I want to share our project for the Hack Money hackathon. It's called ETHcavenger, and the idea is simple. We wanted to build a tool for communities to start teaching them how to use Ethereum, and what a better way than with some gamification. So we decided to build what we needed, that is a scavenger hunt. And right now what we built was just the API. So for Ethereum communities can like give rewards to the participants by searching who completed some task. So how it works is that user go to the website dashboard, they input their address, and the API is going to return true for all the challenges that had been completed. For example, one challenge can be like breed a CryptoKitty, or buy an Axie, or mint some compound die, create a pulse, stuff like that. So right now what we created was only the API. So it works like this. The API just calls the dashboard just calls the API and returns true or false depending on if the user has access or have created this task. For example, this address only has CryptoKitties. I'm going to try my address. I don't have CryptoKitties over here, but I have Cotton Chained Card, Axie Infinities. I have used Compound, and the idea is that if you complete all the task, you are going to receive some reward, like an NFT or something like that. Right now it's made using Go. We wanted to learn a new backend server, so we decided to start learning Go and use Go, Ethereum, and Infura in order to read the state of the blockchain and see the logs to see which people has completed the task. And we are using Heroku for the deployment. The future work is deploying the dashboard. Right now, like I said, we only have the API and Oracle, the server that it's deployed. But the idea is to actually have a dashboard where people can see it more friendly and add support to more tasks or tokens. So, for example, adding support to Decentraland or CryptoVoxel and stuff like that. That's our goal. Right now it's live. You can see here is the demo, achievementchecker.herokuapp.com. Just input your address and you're going to see like the current status of your application. The team is Christian Espinosa, Oscar Presidente, and Robert Mojet. We are part of the Honduras community, so we're pretty much building this for our communities. We work a lot with coffee stuff, and we wanted like a small break, so we decided to build something for our community. Thank you.
Sorry for the noise.
Oh, can we ask questions?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is so creative. What is the initial challenge that people can, like, what does it mean for me to have completed a challenge, I guess?
So right now, what we do is actually just read the blockchain and see if you have currently tokens or if you had in the past. So we actually also review the logs, and we wanted to do something different for this hackathon. Like I said, we usually just work with the smart contracts. For this, we wanted to build like the infrastructure, and we really got surprised by how fast it went with Go. So if you saw the video, it took less than a second to retrieve like all the information, and we read the logs of like 6.
How did you do that? How did you like read so much data so quickly?
Using Go routines and threads.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, I'll go. This is cool. I've seen similar projects pop up recently, like Rabbit Hole. I don't know if you've seen that. That was really cool. So I'm really liking this kind of trend of gamifying things, getting people to do things to get them more involved in these projects and then giving them a reward for it. So yeah, I just wanted to say I thought it was really, really cool. And, I hope you guys continue on this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are building this for a small scavenger hunt for our community. So we want to finish as soon as possible.
Yeah, I really like what you built, and I could see people using this for their own communities to make it more engaging and gamifying it. So people enter the address and then, but do they necessarily have to prove that they're the owners of the address, or can you enter like any address right now?
Well, if you put any address, then you're just going to receive, the address is going to receive the price. So if it's not yours, the price is going to the other person.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Christian and Anne. That was an amazing demo. And I think one of the coolest things about this is that hacks, especially that you want to use yourselves, are even better because you can continue to build and make them a lot better. So thanks again. And with that, we'll move on to our next team, and that is team and project Sunset Supreme. So please welcome the Curve Grid team on our Zoom.
Hello. Okay, can we share a video?
Go for it.
Okay. Share screen. Can everyone see? Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to Sunset Supreme, Spreadsheet Blockchain Machine. We're a group of engineers and interns from CurveGrid, a blockchain middleware company in Tokyo, Japan. We spend a lot of our time in the weeds of Solidity and Go Ethereum, but we don't actually know a lot about DeFi. For this hackathon, we wanted to see how we could make DeFi accessible for anyone to hack on. When it comes to numbers and calculations, what is the lowest common denominator? A spreadsheet. We present Sunset Supreme, the spreadsheet DeFi UI. But really, why spreadsheet? Well, if we consider the number of blockchain engineers globally, it's about 7,000. If we think about the number of software engineers, we get all the way up to 26 million. But spreadsheet users, that's close to 1 billion. We wanted to make it as easy as using a formula in a spreadsheet so that anybody can hack on DeFi. We start with a Google spreadsheet and the Ethereum blockchain, and on the Ethereum blockchain, one or more DeFi smart contracts. Now, how do we put these two together? What we wrote is a Google Apps Script blockchain plugin. It's basically a JavaScript program. That connects to our multi-bass blockchain middleware via REST API, which then talks to the DeFi smart contracts. Our AppScript blockchain plugin is about 1,500 lines of AppScript or JavaScript code with a full CI/CD test suite integrated with GitHub Actions, and a demo spreadsheet showcasing interesting insights from a few DeFi projects. This is what we built. It's demo time for smooth spreadsheet-style DeFi.
Hi, I'm Noboru. I'm joining Corporate team in Tokyo as an intern engineer.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a software engineer here at CurveGrid.
So this is our demo spreadsheet. It's view only, so if you'd like to modify it, please go File, Make a Copy, Custom Formulas that allow you to do different things on the blockchain. They all start with the prefix MB, and they have integrated documentation. As we pass in a transaction hash, and we get back the results of that. We also have a helper function up here. If you click on multi-bass refresh current cell, here's an example from the HackMoney public lock where we're retrieving the total supply. This is all coming back from the blockchain in real time. We can have a single value that's returned, and we can even have multiple values. What we get back is a one-dimensional array. We can also compose an unsigned transaction. This gives us the ability to paste this into Geth. What we've actually got here is kind of a complete dashboard for the whole Aave lending pool core setup. Not only can we look at the current values, but we can also look at the historical values as well.
The compound C Ether contract, we were able to compose this visualization of the event activity on the compound Ether smart contract.
Because you can't be the best if you don't test.
Hi, my name is Denham Kim. I'm a software engineer at CurveGrid. I'm sure that you guys really enjoyed the spreadsheet plugin a while ago. I helped the team to build a testing environment using CI workflow. Let me show you. This is the testing environment and pushing the latest code to the app script and then call the app script API and then our spreadsheet plugin call the API of multi-bass, write the data on the spreadsheet and the return value and then checking it as a true or false. Here's the actual workflow results. Some of them are fail, some of them are success. The detail in one case. And then here is the real demo and pushing the latest code to the app script and then running test. The test will be running on the actual app script and the result success. Yay!
Sunset Supreme, spreadsheet blockchain machine. Check us out on GitHub.
This was amazing. This was so cool. I was watching the entire thing thinking, for our APIs, we currently have to write a bunch of random scripts, but something like this is just so helpful for any project that's writing APIs. Does it also have the ability to listen for events?
It does. Yep. So down here we've got, for example, events that come back from, this is again a public lock like HackMoney contract.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and these are coming back live from the blockchain.
Wow, I'm so impressed. This is mind blowing.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is super impressive. I really like the demo as well. That was quite funny. But yeah, overall, I mean, you sold it, right? There's 1 billion spreadsheet users in the world, and if we can get them using, a spreadsheet interface for DeFi, that's awesome. So, yeah, I'm pretty blown away as well by what you've built.
Yeah, just
Thanks.
adding on to that, I think this is really great, and I hope you guys continue working on this. It's just makes the whole space a lot more accessible to people, and I could also see just a lot more interesting things being built as a result of this. So really great work and presentation.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff and the CurveGrid team. I think this is the first demo we've seen where somebody's proud to show their tests. So thanks again for this. And I actually want to give a special shout out to Jeff and the rest of the CurveGrid team, because they've been amazing help to the rest of our hacker groups for helping out with a lot of technical problems throughout the past 4 weeks. So they've been an amazing mentor and a hacker at the same time. And I'm so glad to see this awesome demo. And this is great. So with that, I want to call up our next project, and that is project compose.fi. So I'll let them kick off by sharing their demo.
We are the Money Lego team. I'm Bruno Malsani. I made the front end and product UI.
And my name is Daniel Fernandez. I made the backend and the integration with the smart contracts.
So what is compose.fi? It's a visual tool where anyone can manually connect the DeFi Legos and compose more complex DeFi operations.
So who is this for? Well, this is for teachers, students, developers, testers, anyone who wants to test the power of DeFi composability, to teach, learn, play, or just use it. And how does it work? Well, it's very easy. You basically grab an element and connect it with other elements, creating a new graph that you can deploy and execute. Let me show you an example to see how it works. Let's create a graph here in compose.fi in mainnet directly. So for example, I will start adding an element, Ether input element. We start with Ethers, right? Then let's add a splitter, for example. We can split those Ethers and send one part, let's send it to, for example, Uniswap, right? And let's send the other part of Ethers also to Uniswap, but let's buy USDC now. No, yes. So one part goes to Uniswap to buy DAI, the other one goes to Uniswap to buy USDC. Then we connect this USDC with Cure, for example, to buy more DAI. Now we can see that we have DAI here and DAI here, and we can send both DAI, this one and this one, to another element, such as Cure, this time to buy some SUSD, right? And then we can send that SUSD to an address. So we can see how we compose all the instruments in a graph, you know, and now we can deploy this graph. Let's deploy it to mainnet, right? I'm gonna make sure this goes fast. Okay, there we go. So you can see that the transaction is deploying and the graph is being created. Let's see here in mainnet. Okay, while it's finished, I will continue with the presentation. So how we made this? All right. For each DeFi instrument, we create a smart contract that knows how to interact with it. And the graph that is deployed is also a smart contract that uses those instruments, those smart contracts. The directly connects to the blockchain to read and write. We can scale this to any DeFi operation that we want. We can add almost any DeFi operation because the way we abstract the operation, we abstract in a way that is a black box that receives assets and return assets, so we can connect anything with anything. We build that with React, Web3, and using some visual libraries. What are we gonna do in the future with this? Well, we hope to add more DeFi instrument and assets so people can play with it, and some documentation on each DeFi instrument. So for example, a student can understand, or a new DeFi developer can understand how it works. And it's live on mainnet, and you can test it in compose.fi. Let's see if the transaction finished. The transaction is still pending, so I'm gonna pause the video and we'll return when it's finished.
Yes, the network is heavy loaded these days.
Yep. All right, and the transaction was successfully mined. So we can see that the contract was created, the 7BA, and our site redirected to this URL with the contract where it just loads the address, it gets the address, and it loads the whole graph from the smart contract. If we refresh here, we can see that it does the same, you know, it loads all
This is
from
on
the blockchain.
mainnet.
It's all on mainnet, right? And now I'm gonna execute this graph. I'm gonna send some ethers and get some SUSD, but I don't have any. So for example, let's send some 0.001 ethers here. Okay, and I'm gonna get some SUSD in my address. We can see that my current account doesn't have any SUSD. I'm gonna copy my address, exit here. And now I'm gonna execute the graph to get some, with all this complex arbitrage, get some SUSD to my account. It's ready to execute, and I execute it. Let's see if we can speed it up a bit. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Transaction is being executed, I think. Let's see. Okay, I think it was confirmed already. Okay, that was pretty fast, not yet. Let's see the transaction. Oh no, because MetaMask says it was executed, but it's not. Okay, yeah, it finished, sorry. Yeah, we can see here that it finished. Sorry for that, that was very fast, faster than we expected. And it executed all the instruments, and I should have gotten some SUSD. Let's see, there we go. I got some SUSD at the end. So it was a quite complex graph, not quite, there are more complex ones. Let me show you some others that we made also very fast. I hope we have some time. We have things that are pretty crazy like this. This is, you can check here, it's a graph that has a flash swap, you know. If you use Oasis, 0x, Cure, Uniswap, it wraps ETH, it returns everything to the flash swap. So yeah, it can get as complex as you want. So, all right, that's all for us. We hope you like it. Try it in compose.fi.
Thank you.
This is so exciting. I have a question. So if you deployed a graph, can I use that graph?
Yeah, you can use it. Anyone can use it.
Okay.
You can use it as a DeFi snap also, like get your own snaps.
Yeah. That's so cool. I think it makes it really accessible for someone who doesn't know how to code to like go ahead and like create these really complex financial instruments. So it's so exciting.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah, this is just making it easier for everyday people to get more involved with DeFi without having to code up things. These drag and drop tools are awesome. Great work, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, same situation. I love this, and this is actually something like I would send to people when they're curious about DeFi and want to like learn more and experiment. Like I just love that it's visual and accessible for people. So like I really hope you continue working on this.
We will be, for sure.
Thank you so much. And with that, I just want to make a comment that a majority of the projects that have presented today and throughout this week are actually live on mainnet. So that is amazing to just remind everybody of that you are in a position to just try them out live with a big asterisk though, but just they're live. And now with that, we'll move on to our next demo, and that is Team Meta TX. So I know they've already started the screen share. I'll let them take away and kick off the video.
This is basically two ideas. The first one is a meta transaction system that allows a contract receiver to work with any meta transaction processor, including GSM, and any future one. This is in contrast with current solution that requires a contract to hard code a trusted forwarder or having a central authority mechanism to upgrade. In the system I will present, the user is in full control to which meta transaction. So I'm going to set my name, use MetaMask for the demo, and then I will use GS. So I put my name, and I confirm. And here what's happening is that the application is checking if me as a user have already approved the OpenGSN contract. Here it decides that no, then there is a EIP 712 type of message that let me approve GSN. Once I have this signature, I don't need to make a transaction. I can pass it as part of a special meta transaction that still goes through GSN. So here I allow, so I approve the transaction, the meta transaction, I mean, and then my name is here. Now that was the first idea. And the nice thing about this is that in terms of smart contract, it is very similar to how you will implement a normal GSN meta transaction receiver. The main difference is that it asks the registry whether the registry itself is a relatively simple contract that can be deployed that don't require any specific meta transaction system, so it doesn't need to be complex and can support it easily. Now, the second idea I want to present is this time something specific to GS. I implemented a paymaster that will use DAI for paying the transaction. The demo I just did before was using the free Ether given by the GSM. Here, as you can see, I have 10 DAI there. And basically, here I will put a different whatever. This time, what will happen is that my application is checking whether as paymaster have approval over my DAI. And here, so I rely on DAI permit mechanism that allows me to sign a message, but again, I don't send transaction here. I combine it into the approval data, the mechanism specific to GSN that allow add extra data to the meta transaction. Then I accept the meta transaction. The meta transaction will do the all necessary mechanism and that, but mechanism to allow it take my DAI and pay the transaction. And then you can see I spend 2 cents for that. This mechanism will use Uniswap to transfer the DAI to pay. That's basically it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for presenting that. I really like the interface. I feel like I mean, I had some audio problems, so I feel like I don't quite fully understand exactly.
Yeah, there was some audio issue I couldn't resolve when I was recording. Okay. But yeah, I mean, to summarize, it's basically 2 solutions. The main one, I mean, the one I'm more proud of is basically the mechanism that allow users to control which meta transaction systems they can use. So traditionally, like GSN require use what we call the messenger trick, sender trick. And unfortunately, it requires the contract developer to decide which system they support. And with my solution, the user decides.
Cool. Yeah, I like that you're giving people more like accessibility to choosing and yeah, I like the interface. I thought it was like pretty nice. So yeah.
That was really cool to see it like to choose that you could spend your DAI instead of your ETH. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, in the video, it's a Uniswap actually used to do that. I mean, I mock it only on the testnet I launched. I didn't have time to. Actually, I was making a game before, but then it was too ambitious. And then I was looking at how to improve the user experience, and then I decided to finish with that.
Yeah, this was great. Giving users the ability to pay transaction fees, in things other than ETH is always good. So yeah, great job on the project.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ronan. And with that, we'll move on to our next demo. And as a reminder, we only have 2 more teams to go. So please welcome our second last team, Kahoot. And they're going to show off their quiz app.
Hello.
Hi guys. I will show you the video.
Hey guys, we have
Hey, guys.
built an app to play Kahoot challenges with prizes distributed via Ethereum. So as a first step, I enter my private key and then I create challenge on Kahoot. So this is the Kahoot URL, and for that Kahoot challenge, I should create a crypto space. I set initial bet, and now let's wait for crypto space to be created. Every participant will put the same bet, and then winner will get this also. Looks like space is created. Now I'll share URL with Vadim.
Yeah.
So after space creation transaction is mined, Vadim would be able to join this crypto space.
Exactly.
Let's wait for him. As you can see, we are using Ethereum name system, so I don't have to type my name into app. It just appears here. So, are you joining, Vadim?
Yeah, I'm joining.
No, let's wait for him.
This is transactions main.
When Vadim will join, oh, I can see him right now.
Yeah.
Oh, and also let's wait for Anna to join us.
The price gets bigger.
Yeah, cool. Oh, I can see her already. Now let's play.
Yeah.
So I enter matching nickname, the same as on contract. And actually, if someone else plays this Kahoot challenge with a different name, we'll distribute prizes evenly. So it's hard to cheat. And while we're playing, Vadim, could you tell about how this thing is built from the smart contract perspective?
We deployed a smart contract. It requests.
And keep playing, Vadim, keep playing.
Okay, it's hard to say play, but we deployed a smart contract that makes a request to changing Oracle, and changing Oracle makes request to our backend proxy, which goes to the Kahoot IP and gets a winner of the challenge from it. So our iOS app interacts with smart contract. People can.
No, but you know flowers well.
Yeah, and we made some security checks for people to not cheat.
Okay, looks like I'm almost done. How are you doing?
And the last question for me. Okay, yeah, I'm done. So let's do the prices.
Wait a sec. Last question for Anna, and let's see who wins. Okay, looks like Anna have lost, and looks like Ivan have won. So Ivan gets prize, and Anna just lead the game. Thank you.
Exactly.
Bye. Bye, Vadim. Nice play.
Bye. Yeah, here it is.
Hey guys.
Hey, that was a really interesting idea. I like how you were like, Vadim, explain it while also playing the game. So you're gonna lose all the ETH, and I'm gonna get
just choose the random flowers.
So each person stakes the same amount, or can they stake different amounts?
And just in first version, in basic version, they just bet the equal amount, just for simplicity.
Cool. I was wondering, can you also like generalize this to other games like poker, for example?
Yeah, sure. It's like the only thing to do is to make our proxy to parse the JSON API to work better with Oracle, and that's all. We thought about to make a link chess. Yeah, link chess. Just but then we just tried the Kahoot.
Yeah, we were looking for games with open API.
Yeah,
There are not so much.
So is this
just
live?
the
Like, can you
convenient.
try using this now?
Excuse me.
Is this live where I can try using this now?
It's on Ropsten, and we have to send you an app via the slide.
Yeah, I think this is really cool and something I would use with friends. I could totally see getting a group together to play this. I really like that you use ENS and make it more accessible to people. And yeah, like I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, the ENS support was great, and I like how you're kind of merging the Web 2 and Web 3 worlds by building this app. So yeah, great job, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kahoot. And with that, we are going to move on to our last presentation of the day. And this is a project that is making a DeFi plugin for VS Code. And the project is appropriately titled DeFi Support for VS Code. So please welcome Eric, and I'll let you share your video.
Introducing DeFi language support for VS Code. My name is Eric Lau, and this is my project submission for Hack Money 2020. The problem that exists today is that IDEs provide generic support for programming languages and libraries. However, they don't provide any Ethereum domain-specific knowledge outside of Solidity. Developers typically need to use external tools to look up things such as Ethereum addresses, ENS names, token addresses, contract information, and so on. To solve this problem, I wrote a VS Code extension for DeFi support when writing Node.js applications. This gives you live on-chain data, live market data, as well as programming model support for common Ethereum DeFi scenarios. Let's take a look. The extension is available on the VS Code Marketplace by searching for Ethereum DeFi. First, let's look at Ethereum addresses. Addresses, private keys, and ENS names are all detected in your source code. Above each address and private key are links that you can click on to bring you to the Etherscan page for mainnets and testnets. Private keys resolve to the public key so that you can verify that the address matches with what you're expecting. Diagnostic warnings are shown for checksums. An error is shown if an address fails checksum, or if an address is not a checksum address. You can quick fix to convert it to a checksum address. You can hover over Ethereum addresses to see the live information for both the Ether balance as well as tokens. Also notice the live market data showing the price of the tokens as well as their total value. Next, let's look at ENS names. There's two-way resolution for ENS names, both from the address to the ENS name or from ENS name to the address. You can automatically convert from one to the other. Now let's look at some DeFi programming examples. Press Ctrl Space to do code completion, where you have options to insert various DeFi snippets or token addresses. A Uniswap trade is as simple as choosing the snippet, then doing code completion for the tokens that you want. Notice the live market data. Hover over a token address for its live data as well. Now let's see how this helps with using the pTokens SDK. Insert the snippet, paste the private key, then copy the public address shown. Now you can insert a snippet for generating a PBDC deposit address to tokenize Bitcoin on Ethereum, and paste the public address that you copied. Now let's move on to how this was made. This solution uses the language server protocol. This is the industry standard for providing language features in text editors and IDEs. The extension implements both a language server and a language client that communicates with each other through this protocol. This allows the solution to be easily extendable to any other IDE. For live on-chain data, this solution uses Infura as the Web3 provider, and Amber data for live market data for Ethereum addresses and tokens. The next steps for this project are to support local development blockchains such as Ganache, so that you can get live data for addresses on your local chain. Deeper programming model support such as contract interactions and other DeFi SDKs. And finally, to get this into the hands of developers to get feedback on it and to make it as useful as possible for writing Ethereum DeFi applications. Thank you for your time.
I love it. This is so exciting. This is like, I'm honestly surprised this doesn't exist yet. Does it, can I use it right now? Can I add it as a VS Code extension?
Yeah, it's available on the VS Code marketplace. You can install it and use it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
this
I'll
is-
try it and give you feedback.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I can imagine this is going to be a really awesome tool for developers. You know, as someone who's not a developer himself, I still can see like the huge value add here. And yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't something that already existed, considering, you know, how much value it adds. So great work.
Thanks.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love this, and I hope that you continue working on it. When I was first learning how to build smart contracts, like something like this would have been extremely helpful for me. So I could see this being used by a lot of people. So yeah, really great work.
Thank you.
Wait, quick question. What is the extension name called again? I'm gonna.
You can search for Ethereum DeFi and you find it on the marketplace. It's called Ethereum DeFi language support.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thanks.
This is so cool.
Awesome. And that wraps up our judging slot for today. I'm going to just bring this up. I want to thank all of our teams who presented and congratulate them on finishing their demo, but also just kind of dedicating the last 4 weeks to work on and build the project that they showed off to everybody. So a lot of these projects are already available and ready for anybody to use. So we'll kind of follow up on our Twitter with a lot of links to check these projects out. And I want to thank our judges again for doing all the hard work and giving a lot of these projects to feedback and comments and just kind of addressing and sharing their excitement. So thanks again to everybody who tuned in on the live stream, and we'll see you all tomorrow afternoon for the next judging slot.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. It was so exciting seeing everyone's awesome projects.
Yeah, really impressive. It's like, it makes me so excited about Ethereum. I was already excited, but I'm even more excited.